Good day, everyone, and welcome to today's training session. This is to officially welcome each and every one of us to this very session of our training on solar power system installations. This is to welcome each and every one to this very session of our training on basic solar power system installations. Yes, when we say basic solar power system installations, we should be aware of what we're talking about. So this is just to tell you or make you aware that this is the basic training course. Okay, this is the basic training course, of which we have the advanced, which gives you a total and complete knowledge of this solar power system designs and installation. So you all are welcome. For this very phase of the basic solar power system installations, we are going to be talking about key things. We are going to be talking about the designs of your solar system. Okay. Starting from the very beginning, we have uh, giving out information concerning the solar energy. Solar energy is one of the renewable energies that we have. It is in abundance in nature because we do not have to struggle to get it because it is actually natural. Okay, but then we have thought of a way to now harness the energy that comes from the sun. There are two types of solar power system, of which you have your on-grid solar power system and your off-grid solar power system. When you talk about the on-grid solar power system, you are now trying to say that um, you will be having energy in your facility all day, all time, due to the fact that you are going to be connecting to more than one power supply source at a time. That is to say, you are going to be connected to your grid, you are going to be connected to your generator, you will also be connected to your solar through your solar panels. So you are also going to be making these system installations using a special kind of solar inverter, which will allow you have access to more than one power supply source at a time. Now, when we also talk about the off-grid solar power system, the upgrade tells you or informs you of the fact that you are only allowed to be on one power supply source at a time. You are only allowed to be on one power supply source at a time, which simply means that when there is no sun, you might not be able to use your inverter system to power up your facility. That is what it simply means. So now that we have a basic idea and knowledge of what we talk about when we talk about the solar system, we now we move to the other part, which we say is now talking about the types of solar components used for solar system setup. Basically, there are four types of solar components used for your solar system setup. You have the solar panel, solar inverter, solar battery, solar charge controllers. Those are the four basic components you can use to make or set up your solar system at any size or scale. All right. at any size or scale. However, you must know the technical know-how before you can say you are good to go. We've given a technical breakdown of how each and every of these components work. And we have also told you that they are not just the only component that is used for system installations. We also have the other one we call the safety tools and gadgets, which includes your SPDs, your breakers, your fuse, your earthing, your grounding, and some other kind of components that are used for safety. They are very, very important and they are also very expensive. However, you are advised to ensure to make sure that you safeguard not just the solar system but also your various home appliances. So, we also gave out the technical skills in connecting your batteries. And we said one of the basic reasons why you connect your batteries is to have a higher running time. That is to say, you will want your battery system to run for a specific length of time, and one battery might not be able to do that for you. So, if that is the case, it simply means that you need to get more batteries, combine them together to give you that expected length of time you want it to run. You have the series connection, you have the parallel connection, you also have the series parallel connection. One good thing to take away from that lecture of the looping and battery connections is that the same connections that applies to your battery system also applies to your solar panels. Yes, when we say the same connections, we are saying that you can use series connection for your batteries, you can use parallel connection for your batteries, and you can also use series parallel for your batteries. It also means that you can also as well use series for your panel, parallel for your panel, and series parallel for your panel. Please, let's be careful by that statement that I just made. Okay, when I have to be clear on this, because what I said is that the same connections apply to both components. Okay, I didn't say that when you use series connection for your battery, you have to use a series connection for your solar panels. That is not what I am saying here. Okay, because oftentimes we have found out that most persons make the mistake of saying that, okay, because they have used a parallel connection for their battery system, they should also deploy a parallel connection for their solar panels. In some cases it works, in most cases it doesn't work. So how then do you get to know what connections to use and at what point? It all depends on the system designs. It all depends on the component you are going to be working on. Can anyone hear me, please? Are we all still here together? If you can hear me and you are here with us, kindly give us your favorite emoji. All right. Is it just one person who can hear and who can interact with us? All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We are trying to remind others that we have started so that they can as well join us. Trying to remind others. Okay. So let us now go back there. All right. Okay. So now that is a basic breakdown of what we have done from the very beginning to where we left it off in the last class. From the very beginning to where we left it off in the last class. Why are we here right now? Why are we here right now? We are here to talk about a very important parameter, a very important and key um, parameter when it comes to system designs. Yes, so we are here to talk about energy audit, solar energy audit. Now, before we dive into what we call solar energy audit, I believe that most of us on this platform tonight, we are some of us are new, some of us are old in the field. All right. For those of us who are new, have you ever wondered how you can be able to know the size of inverter system to be used to power up a facility? Do you ever wonder how you can be able to get the say number of batteries or size of batteries that can power up your load? Do you even imagine to think of what size of solar panels can be able to generate a specific amount of energy for you to power up your facility during the day and at the same time recharge your battery bank? Yes, at one point or the other, that or those questions must have come across our minds. Yes, we must have thought of those things and we have tried to dig up some things, trying to see what we can do. How many appliances can you power at a time? What size of inverter system can you use to power those your appliances? Now, in the course of this training, we have found out that most persons have issues in what we call system sizing. Yes, in what we call system sizing. And that is what brings us to what we call energy audit. So, when we talk about energy audit, we are not saying things that are strange, or we are not going to be talking about foreign things. We are only technically saying that you must firstly know what you intend to power up before you can now ask the question of what size of solar inverter, what size of solar battery, what size of solar charge controller, or what size of solar panels can you be able to use in powering up those things. Can everyone hear me clearly, please? Can everyone hear me clearly, please?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. So, when we talk about energy audit, it practically tells us two things. Practically tells us two things. On one hand, it tells us about the energy need of a facility in terms of wattage, in terms of what you intend to power up. And on the other hand, it helps us to use the information of the energy need to size the various solar components. I'm going to be sharing my screen right now, please. I'm sharing my screen. Can each and everyone see my screen, please? Can you see what I'm sharing on my screen?
Yes.
Okay, if you can see it, please. What can you see?
Audit.
All right. Okay, energy audit. Please, if you are not seeing energy audit, it means that there is something wrong with your network connectivity. Okay, so two things could be wrong. Your network might be slow and it is not loading the pages very fast. So another thing you can do is you just need to log out and come in again for you to see the screen. Okay, the essence of this live class is for us to interact. You interact with the trainer, he interact with you, interact with the screen, so you can be able to see all of the things that are being displayed. That way information will be gotten completely. All right, thank you. Please, like I said earlier, if you are here for this class, you need to mute yourself if you're in a noisy place. Please turn off your microphone. If you are here for this class and you're in a noisy place, please turn off your microphone for effective learning, please. All right, thank you. So, like we have said earlier, energy audit takes care of basically two things for you. It takes care of two things for you. One, it helps you to know the energy need of a facility, and then helps you to size your various solar components. On my screen, you can see that energy audit is the determination of the energy requirement for a building. It is a careful examination of the electrical loads. So what that simply means is that determination of the energy requirement for a building simply tells you that that is the energy that is being consumed or energy consumption that is gotten through the information and idea of the quantity of loads, the power that is being consumed by each and every load, which is now in terms of the appliances. Okay, because for you to know the energy requirement of a facility, you must know what you are powering up. Unlike in the old days, when a client will invite you for a system installation and you wouldn't bother to ask anything, that cannot happen in this modern age. Before you work on any facility, before you do any solar installation, you must firstly do a holistic design to firstly find out what actually is the client going to be powering up. If you do not ask certain questions, you will definitely make a lot of mistakes. And some clients are very tricky. Okay, some clients are very, very tricky in the sense that they wouldn't actually give you the complete information of what you intend, what they intend to power up, or what they want you to work on. So it is your duty to now ask certain questions. It is your duty to now design that machine, that system in such a way that it should be able to power up that facility conveniently without any issues of breakdown, short circuit, fire outbreak, overheating, and whatever. That is what we are talking about here. So you firstly get to know what you are powering up in terms of you having idea of the various appliances to be powered up. Energy audit helps you prevent oversizing of the system, safeguarding your electrical appliances from damaging, and also saves you costs. Yes, that is very, very correct. How does it help you to prevent oversizing of your system? It simply means that if at the initial stage, if at the initial stage, um, you have been invited for a solar system project, for a solar system project, and you do not ask certain questions and you do not know what you're powering up, your first mistake is one, to you either oversize the system or you downsize the system. Either of them have their various effects on that system. Okay, so one of them could be more dangerous than the other. That is why you are expected to design your system appropriately. Now, let us take a deep dive into that. Okay, so let's say one of us here, Mr. Edward. Yes, we don't know where Mr. Edward is, but on the long run, he should be able to tell us where he's from. So let's say Mr. Edward is our client for tonight, and let's say Mr. Edward has invited us for a solar system project in his facility, and he has asked us, okay, what kind of system can power his facility? What product, what brand do we work on? He has heard about Felicity. Is Felicity good? Does Felicity catch fire? What size of Felicity are we going to deploy to his facility? And we'll say, okay, um, he can go for 10 kVA Felicity and 15 kilowatt hour battery system, which will be backed up using or powered using 20 unit of 650 watt Jinko solar panels. That system is going to be a hybrid system, so you might not really need a charge controller. At the end of the day, the cable sizing will be done, the safety side will be taken into consideration, and that system would be commissioned. Has Mr. Edward done the job that he was employed to do? Yes, he has done it. But did he do it the professional way? No. Why? Because in my uh, stage of analysis for that system installation, we never at any point in time mentioned that Mr. Edward carried out a system design on that facility. And when he didn't do that, it means that that system, one, might have been oversized, or two, might be downsized. Now, take for instance, if on the long run we find out that okay, what Mr. Edward intends to power up using that solar system is just one standing fan, his laptop, and his Wi-Fi network connectivity, due to the fact that he works from home. Okay, so he just needs something that will power up his laptop and give him and cool his environment, which is why he's powering up the standing fan there. And then his network connectivity, which is the Wi-Fi connectivity or the router, which will put him on the internet. So that is a very small load, of which wouldn't be even amount to 1000 watts if we do the proper thing we are expected to do. All right, but now we have deployed a 10 kVA system for that project, deploying a 15 kilowatt hour for that project, and then 20 units of 650 watt solar panel. We have greatly oversized that system. Now, the downside to oversizing that system is that it is going to take negative effect on the cost of that project, which means that the real system that is required by Mr. Edward might be, say, 2.5 kilowatt, or even sorry yes, 2.5 kilowatt, or let's say 3 kVA inverter system. Okay, but we have gone as high as 10 kVA. Now, 10 kVA and 3 kVA are not the same size, they're not the same capacity, they do not power the same quantity of loads. Therefore, they are not of the same cost. So it simply means that when you deploy a 10 kVA system into that facility, it means you are going to be incurring more costs in running that project. That is why you can see here that energy audit takes care of what? Preventing oversizing and saving you costs. So what we have just done now is to connect how it saves you cost to prevention of the oversizing. So in general, it means that when you size or when you design your solar system, you prevent oversizing and you save your client some cost. Remember, your client also has the freedom of bringing in some other installers to come and evaluate your job. And on the long run, some of us in this field, I wouldn't shy away from saying it, some of us in this field are very dangerous. When they see what a fellow installer had done, a fellow engineer had done, they will just go outrightly to condemn it, not because it is entirely bad or entirely wrong, but because they just in a way want to kill your reputation and then take over your job. So we should have that in mind, that whenever we are designing a system, we should do it the right way. And also, whenever you are designing a system, you should make provision for upgrades. Yes, you should make provision for upgrade. It is very, very important. It is very, very important. Now, energy audit also talks about prevention, or that's safeguarding your system, right? Yeah, that's in terms of safety. We are going to talk about safety as a topic as we proceed. So in summary, solar energy audit links the energy needs of a facility to the various sizing of the solar component, just as we have just uh, heard. So things to consider during solar energy audit. This simply means that you do not, just because you have gone through this lecture or because you have heard somebody talk about solar system installation, or because you're an electrician who knows how to connect wire, who can actually do a very perfect, a very beautiful a very beautiful electrical installation, you can now be able to do solar installations. No, that is not it. So there are things to consider at the stage of energy audit. There are a whole lot of things to consider. One, the list of electrical appliances. Two, the power rating of the electrical appliances. Three, the daily running hours of those appliances. And four, total energy consumption of the building. So those are key parameters, those are important parameters you need to hold dear. At this point in time, you may not need to worry about them, because on the long run in this session, we will take our time to explain each and every of that parameter, so that you too can be able to have a complete knowledge of what they are. A complete knowledge of what they are. So you also have the importance of solar energy audit. It provides data needed for the appropriate system design. It helps identify opportunities to reduce energy use. It helps to reduce the capital cost. It will help to ascertain the backup time of the solar storage. Now, safety as it concerns your solar system. Safety in solar system is the act of keeping the entire solar system safe, your home appliances safe, plus the end users. That is very, very important place. Okay. Now, what this is telling us is that you need to keep the solar system safe. You also need to keep your home appliances safe. You also need to keep you yourself, you the installer, you the operator, or the end users who happens to be your client or their family members. You need to keep them safe. I believe that some of us who are in the field, or some of us who do research on the internet, have seen videos on the internet where after installations, after doing beautiful installations, when you by chance place your testers on your inverter system, you see that there is current on the body of that your inverter system. I don't know if anyone here has seen such occurrence. Can anyone hear me? Has anyone faced that challenge before? Has anyone seen that anywhere before? Can everyone hear me, please?
Yes, sir.
We are with you. Yes.
All right. Okay, thank you. So, probably you might not have witnessed it, or you might not have seen the videos. However, those are true. It is actually true that some inverter systems, after installations, you will see them misbehave. Yes, especially hybrid inverter systems. They will have current on their body. Now, one of the basic reasons why that will happen would be the lack of safety not in place. So when safety is not put in place, you will definitely have your system misbehave. I believe that this one is also a common information and knowledge, that whenever rain is falling, you should turn off your solar system. I believe most of us on this platform have heard about that information too. Is that correct? Yes, but to an extent. You can turn off your inverter system while it is raining because it is your system. That is one. Two, you can also turn off your inverter system if it is not well protected. Now, that simply means that um, you don't really have to turn off your inverter system or inverter systems if it is raining, if those inverter systems were properly safeguarded, or if safety was put into consideration at the initial stage. Yes. So, like your solar panels, which is in the open place, it needs to be grounded, it needs to be properly airted. You can also use other safety tools and gadgets. Over time, we have heard clients say, or not just clients, landlords say that they don't want to put roofs, or they want to put solar panels on their roofs because the panels cause or lead to fire outbreaks. But at what point does your solar panel lead to fire outbreak? One common cause of fire outbreaks in your solar panel is the use of broken panels. Another is the act of not using the right accessories, like what we call the MC4 connectors. Most of us in the field would prefer to cut off the MC4 connectors and then join the cables together. And on the long run, um, those tape we have taped together to join the cables together might wear off, and that can lead to fire outbreaks. However, generally, your solar system, your solar panels now is very safe to put on your on your roofs. Okay, that is one. Two, you are also allowed to put your to leave your solar system on when it is raining if it is very well protected. So a safe solar system is free from both human and natural disasters or hazards such as fire outbreak, overloading, overvoltage, undervoltage, lightning effect, and shock. So you need to put all of these things into consideration and so be able to do a very good solar system installation. These are the, the tools for solar system safety. You have your SPDs, your MCB, your MCCB, your automatic changeover is also there. So these are those components you may need, and this is your PV box where you will do your entire wiring or your combiner boxes. You can see this is well earthed as well. This is well earthed as well. So that is what you actually have. All right. So this is the first half of this training course. It is the first half of this training course, and being the first half of the training course simply means that it is at this point we can take a break, sip some water, and then come back for the second half and the final half for the night. So while we are taking a break and sipping some water, it is also worthy of us to take some announcements, okay, or some information. As we are here, we um, have taken into consideration the fact that most of us, where we live, because of where we find ourselves, all in Africa, we have network connectivity issues. Therefore, we have found a means to help each and every one of us, and that means is to record every of the live classes. So this class is being recorded right now and is going to be shared with everyone. So this particular class is going to be shared on our social media platforms. Okay, it's going to be shared on our YouTube, it's going to be shared on our Facebook, it's also going to be shared on our TikTok platform. Okay, so that each and everyone can have access to read for free. However, for the paid classes, you need to pay to have access to the videos. But the good thing about this is that we have been able to take care of that network connectivity issues or challenges by recording the live classes. Also, there will be time for questions and answers on this very platform. When it is time, please tell us your name and your location. Yes, it is mandatory. You tell us your name and your location, and then you can ask your questions. So please structure your questions to be within the study framework, okay? That is to say, what we have studied for the night or the things that we have done already. Outside of that, we may not be able to take those questions. All right. You can as well share some experiences, but let it not take too long to complete because of our time. All right. So finally, um, if you are to talk to us, please speak from a quiet background. If you are not in a quiet background, please use the chat box. Yes, to send in your messages as text. We will read it aloud and then we will also attend to it. We will also answer it. All right. So, having said all of that, let us take the first phase of questions. For this badge, we will take questions 2 times. So let's take the first phase of questions right now. Tell us your name and your location, and you can ask questions based on what we have learned so far. So good. All right. Who is going first? You can unmute yourself. Are we still here together, please? Can everyone still hear me?
Yes, we are together.
Okay, Mr. Chibuza.
Yes, we are doing.
Okay, Mr. Zimba. Is there another person? That's just 2 persons here. We have about 13 persons on this platform.
Yes, we are
Yes, we
together.
are together.
All right. Okay. Thank you. So it means that
We are together.
all right.
Yes, we are here. I'm
All
with you.
right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So the silence means that we are good to go. That is fine. We like that.
I have a question, sir.
All right. Go ahead, please.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Good evening, sir. My name is Chibuzo, and I'm from Port Harcourt. That's where I'm listening from. So my question is like, as a solar installer, when someone call you, please, I want to install solar in my house. My question is, how do you calculate the load so that you will know the inverter that will suit to the house, whether it's 3 kVA or 3.5 or 4 kVA? How do you calculate the load so that you will know how many kVA you will use for the inverter?
Okay, all right. So, your question is in line with what we are talking about here. How are we to be able to size the loads before you can now know the various sizes for the solar component? That is very good, sir. Your question will
Yes,
be
sir.
answered. Yes, thank you. Your question will be answered in the next session that we are going into tonight. Okay, so we'll answer it. When we commence that session. So you will get the answers tonight. So please stay with us, okay?
Okay, sir.
Thank you. All right. Okay, so let us now continue the class so that we can be able to answer Mr. Chibuzo's question. So right now, we will be introducing what we call electrical load analysis. Electrical load analysis. What is electrical load analysis? What is its importance? How did we come about it? What can it do for us? Electrical load analysis is a calculation, series of calculations, or the process of evaluating the energy needs of a facility. Now, you all should remember when we introduced energy audit, we said clearly that energy audit does um, 2 things for you. Energy audit helps you to know the energy need of a facility, which is key, which is very important. Okay, so If the energy audit helps you to know the energy need of a facility, by what means do you get to do that your energy audit? That is where this electrical load analysis comes in. So electrical load analysis is a tool, that is the tool that you use to do this your energy audit, to carry out your energy audit. So this your electrical load analysis is what actually tells you, or what does the calculation, or what was you through the process of getting to know the energy need of that your facility. In summary, electrical load analysis shows the exact energy consumption in watts for a specific facility, which means you have to now know what you are powering up, what time are those things going to be powered, and how long they will be running as well. So, again, before you can now run a load audit on a facility, okay, so a load audit, or before you carry out electrical load analysis, they are both the same. Please don't be confused. I will be using those two parameters interchangeably, okay. I might say electrical load analysis or load audit. So when you are to carry out a load audit, or when you are to run electrical load analysis on a facility, there are specific questions you are expected to ask whenever a client calls you for that particular project. Okay, so there are three questions to be asked. Two questions are standard questions, and one is a bonus question. So let's say again, our client for tonight, Mr. Edward, has invited us for a solar system setup. While we are speaking to him on the phone, even before you get to the site, okay, while we are speaking to him on the phone, we can ask Mr. Edward the very first question. We can ask him, what is the energy need of the facility? What is the energy need of the facility? At that point in time, Mr. Edward can now say, okay, he doesn't understand, and then we can break it further down for him by asking him to give us a list of the various appliances he intends to power up using the solar system. At that point in time, he can now say he wants to power up his freezer, he wants to power up his laptop, he wants to power up his bulbs, his fan, and whatever. We we will take that into we will take that into consideration. Taking it into consideration simply means that we would now have to work on it. We will have to work on it. Working on it, we will be asking the second question. Asking the second question will be the backup time. Asking the second question will be to know the backup time. So we'll be asking Mr. Edward what is his backup time for that solar system. He can now tell us how long he wants the solar system to run. Now, this backup time is a standard parameter. It is very, very important when we are designing to know the size of the battery system. Now, this backup time tells you or informs you of the fact that the source of your solar energy does not stay up all day. So, when it is up and running, you need to charge your battery bank, and when it's no longer there, you need to now depend on your battery bank. So, the question then comes, how long can the energy stored in your battery system run for you? That is where this backup time comes in. It is in hours, in 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 12 hours. One good thing you need to know is that the higher the running time, the higher the cost of system installation. Three, the available budget. Now, most of us shy away from this, but then it is what you are expected to ask. You are expected to ask about the budget. You are expected to ask about the budget. Now, take for instance, um, Mr. Edward now wants to power up five air conditioners, each of 1.5 horsepower. That is four air conditioners. That's about six. Is it 6 horsepower altogether? That alone consumes a whole lot of energy if we manage to convert it to watts. Now, we have accessed Mr. Edward to see, okay, oh, he doesn't have he doesn't have that kind of capacity to do that system. So you can ask him, sir, how much is available? Please, what is the budget for this project? Asking the question to know the budget will give you clarity on what the client needs at that point in time. Asking the question of budget will give you clarity as to what your client needs for that period in time. Again, asking the question of budget will save you the stress of going through rigorous system design without bringing it to life. So when you ask, you get a good answer and then you know what to do. So, key questions to ask: the energy need of the facility, the backup time of the facility, and then the budget available for that facility. Please, for good network connectivity, you are advised to turn off your cameras. All right, you are advised to turn off your cameras for good network connectivity so that you don't go off and on. So that you don't go off and on. Importance of solar electrical load analysis. It ensures proper sizing of your system. It prevents overloading, it prevents fire hazards, improves safety and efficiency of the solar system. Improves efficiency of the solar system. Yes, this is the big deal of the day. This is the big deal of the day.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm having challenges with my network because I know we are trying to have invitations in Zambia, but I really wanted to join the COVID live classroom. It's a little challenge to join. I wanted to ask on how best you can assist me on that because I'm going to miss the most important lessons. So I wanted to hear from you, sir.
All right, I'm with you. So, this is a typical example of electrical load analysis table. On this table, you can see a whole lot of information there. However, it is still not complete. It is still not complete because you can see those question marks all around it. So, let us firstly deal with those question marks, then make the table complete with the various standard parameters we need, and then we can work on the table. I hope everyone can hear me, please.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So, parameters for electrical load
I'm hearing you.
analysis. All right. Thank you, sir. So, parameters for electrical load analysis. You have the quantity of appliance, power consumed by an appliance, running time of an appliance. Let's take them one after the other. The quantity of an appliance tells you the number of appliances that the client intends to power up using the solar system. So it simply means that if the client wants to power up two bulbs at a time, it means that the quantity of bulbs would be two. If he wants to power up 4 air conditioners, the quantity of air conditioners would be 4, as the case may be. The power consumed by an appliance. The power consumed by an appliance tells you the rated wattages of each and every appliance. It tells you the rated wattages of each and every appliance. Now the question is, how do you get the power consumption of these your appliances? How do you get the power consumed by each and every appliance? It is gotten from the nameplate of each and every appliance. What is that nameplate? The nameplate is that portion which gives you the clear description of that your appliance. It tells you the name of the appliance, the brand, the maker, the serial number, the IMEI number, the current, the voltage, the wattage, the frequency, as the case may be. So on my screen tonight, we have a typical example of an LG nameplate. Okay, we have a typical example of an LG nameplate. So this here is a little task for every one of us here. Who can see the screen clearly? Who can see the nameplate clearly? Can anyone tell me the energy consumed by this appliance? Is there anyone who can see the screen clearly? Who can tell us the energy
Yes, I
consumed?
can see it.
Yes, tell us, Mr. Chibuzo. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, you can see it.
Please, if you can see this, the nameplate, what is the energy consumed by this LG TV?
It's 195 watts.
Thank you, Mr. Daniel. Thank you, Mr. Felix. 195 watts. That is very, very correct. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So the running time of an appliance technically tells you how long these appliances are going to be turned on. And in other words, it simply means that the running time only takes effect when the appliance is powered up. Now, let us look at the table again. Now, let us look at the table again. The table is now complete. The table is now complete. You can now see the appliance, the quantity of appliance, the power consumed by the appliance, and the running time. Okay, so it also has the various data and information of the various appliances that needs to be powered up. So here right now, Mr. Edward, who is our client for tonight, wants to power up 5 appliances, as you can see on the screen. So how do we run a load analysis on these 5 appliances? So Mr. Chibuzo, this is where you need to pay attention. All right, this is where you need to pay attention, because this is where answers
Okay, sir.
your this is where answers your question, like we told you earlier. So you use a formula. Okay, you use a formula to get the uh, energy need of the facility, and that formula says energy consumed is equal to quantity of appliance multiplied by the power consumed multiplied by the running time. Quantity of appliance multiplied by the power consumed multiplied by the running time. So there's a technique which is used to apply that formula. The technique also says that you have to apply the formula on each of these 5 appliances. That is to say, you get the energy consumed by the DVD player, get the energy consumed by the air conditioner, get the energy consumed by the ceiling fan, get the energy consumed by the refrigerator, get the energy consumed by the blender, and then you add everything up to give you the total energy consumption, which automatically becomes the energy need of that facility, of that facility. Let us look at that in a minute. So for the DVD player, I hope you all can still see my screen. I hope you all can see my screen.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, how about others? Can others see it too?
We can
Yes,
see it.
we can
I can
see
see it
it.
too.
All right, thank
Yes.
you. Thank you so much. So
Yes, I
now,
can see it.
all right, thank you, sir. So now for the DVD player, 6 multiplied by 50 by 1 gives you 300 watt hour. Air conditioner 2 multiplied by 1.5 by 2 gives you 4,476 watt arm. For the ceiling fan, for the ceiling fan, 5 multiplied by 60 by 7 gives you 2,100 watt hour. For the refrigerator, 3 multiplied by 100 by 5 gives you 1,500 watt hour. For the blender, 1 multiplied by 1,500 by 1 gives you 1,500 watt hour. So altogether, what we are going to be having would be 9,876 watt hour. That is the energy consumption of the facility, and that is what we are to see here, and what we are to see here right now. So you can see the table is all complete right now. You now have the energy need, you now have the total consumption of for that facility. All right, questions please. Questions please.
For the AC, we did not convert the horsepower to wattage. Just go to directly as 1.5 horsepower.
You didn't follow the rules of this platform, so we might not take your questions, sir. The rule says you tell us your name and your location, sir.
My name is Moise. I'm from Lagos State, Nigeria. So the question I was asking was in the AC rating route, you only give us directly as 1.5 horsepower. You do not convert it to wattage or say what it is into watts.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Moise. That is a good observation. Yes. Why the why the system was given in horsepower and designed in horsepower was that horsepower is the standard parameter for an air conditioner. I think some other appliances like your some refrigerators or some microwaves, some water pumps also comes rated in horsepower or any other units that is not watts. Okay, so for you to convert from watts from horsepower to watts, all you need to do is 1 horsepower is equal to 746 watts. 1 horsepower is equal to 746 watts. So you multiply 1.5 horsepower by 746, you get a wattage, and then you can compute the rest. I hope that's got to Mr. Moise.
Yes, I got that. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay. So we can take some more questions, one or two more questions before we proceed. Mr. Edward, our client, are you still here with us? Or the network has kicked you out? The network is really bad today. All right. So are there still question or questions, please? Let's hear from you. Or can we proceed as we are not done yet?
Okay,
Yes, sir. You can proceed.
let's proceed.
Okay. All right. So proceeding means that you have been able to digest each and every information we have provided tonight, right from the introduction of energy audit to the importance of energy audit to introduction of load analysis to importance of load analysis and the calculation, which is the design stage. So we are now going to be using that information of the energy audit to size the various solar components like we said. So we are now going to be sizing the inverter system using 9,800 and whatever that value that we got there. Let me see. Let me go back there and see what the value is. 9,876 watt hour. That's what we're going to be using to size the inverter system. That same value will be used to size your battery system, considering the backup time of that battery system. Also, it will be used to design the size of your charge controller and your solar panels. However, this is where we are calling it a day for the training session. This is to tell you that this is the end of the free training session. Yes, it is actually the end of the free training session, and this is to also tell you that we congratulate those who have already made their payment even before now. Why are we congratulating them? We are congratulating them because they are not going to be missing out on anything at all. So even if they have a question after now, before the next class commences, we are open to take those questions. All right. And like we said, the class is to run for 2 days for free, and the remaining days you have to pay for it. You have to pay for it. And it's a one-time payment. Nigerians are to pay 5,000 naira. Ghanaians are to pay 300 Ghana cedis. Sierra Leoneans are to pay 300 Sierra Leone. That's a leons. Ugandans are to pay 45,000 Ugandan shillings. Zambians 300 Zambian kwacha. South
Sorry to
Africans.
cut you short. No discount for people like us that are students.
No, there is no discount, sir. There's no discount at all, sir. It's a flat rate. There's no discount. So South Africans are paying 350 rands. Um, Please, if you are here, you have not heard your amount to pay or the payment method, you can ask those questions right now. Like I said, it is a one-time payment of which guarantees you getting a training certificate at the end of this training. It also guarantees you attending the complete training course, which is now what we call the premium class. Okay, so from now you are going to be hearing premium, premium, premium. So it means that it is the paid class right now. It also guarantees you mentorship, which means that if you face any challenge in the field, you can always come around, you can always talk to us, and we'll help you resolve your problems. All right, questions on payments now, please. Questions on payment. Okay, so if you um all right, so we are going to be sharing the payment.
Hello,
Yes, go ahead, sir.
hello.
Go ahead, we can hear you. Go ahead,
But
please.
in terms of the payment, what you charge, I'm telling you, you have actually consider as many of us as possible. In fact, when I told my wife, I said, you have actually done a great help for lot of of us. And I'm encouraging every one of us to pay and even to invite others to join. God bless you, sir.
All right, thank you so much. God bless you too for trusting in the process. Thank you. One of the core mission and vision of Virtue Tech is to upskill as many persons as possible in and around Africa. Thank you so much, sir. All right, so we are open to take just one more question before we call it a day. If you have a question, observations, you can now talk to us, please.
Yes, I would love to cover. I said, apart from the main initial registration fee, would there be another payment you are going to make during maybe before the ending of the class, or to get certificates? Maybe we are meant to pay money to collect our certificate, or any other thing we are going to do. Is only that main registration fee that we are going to use throughout till we finish the course, and if we are going to be needing any other thing based on intensive training, or if we have a project that we want to work on that we might need some help on, is there any other payment that we'll be doing on that one, or just that one time payment is all that we're going to be using?
Okay, this question has been asked before, and we like we said, In fact, we even have a video, so it means you didn't follow up the information on the general group. We have a video concerning this your questions, sir. So, and that information simply says it's a one-time payment for this basic. It's a one-time payment, which means once you pay the enrollment fee, that is all for the day. There is none for certificate. Okay, this is an online course, so there is no other payment for certificate. So that the fee you have to pay covers both the training, both the certification, and every other thing, both the mentorship. Okay, so as long as it is within the framework of what we have learned. So that is it, sir. You are not to pay for any other thing for this basic course. All right. I believe you have gotten that information. And having said that, this is where the training will come to an end. So for payment details, you can text me directly now so I can send it to you, even though we are going to be sharing it on the training platform for everyone to have access to. You can text me now, I'll send it to you so you don't have to scroll um all over the training platform for it. We want to see you join join the premium class, which is commencing same time tomorrow. All right, same time tomorrow. Make your payment on time. Send in the evidence of payment for confirmation. Once we confirm it, you can now join the class. Those of you who have paid, we have not shared the training materials. We are going to share it after this class. All right, so you don't need to panic. We have the records, and we are going to act on it accordingly. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for trusting in the process. See you all in the next training session. Have a wonderful night rest, everyone. Bye bye.